Today we begin our second to last states only challenge here on Madden, and what very well might be the final one of Madden 24. But as we have the big board pulled up here, the new edition, the Marylavania states only challenge, became the first of all of our Madden 24 state only challenges to actually complete the challenge. They did it in the final episode, season 5, and avoided adding on to the loss column. So good job, Marylavania. But today we have a problem as we get started, as the voting ended in a tie. So as we do for the superstar mode with Bronson Moreau, let's bring up the coin flip. Now for heads, it'll be option number 1 from the voting, which was the combination of Mississippi and Tennessee. Tails, that will be for the second option, which was Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. So as we flip the coin, we will find out what our second to last and final one will be. And we will be doing today, starting today, the combination of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois, which means Mississippi and Tennessee will be our final states only challenge. And I think it is no surprise the team we will be using for their uniform and for the stadium, the Minnesota Vikings. You could see one of the jerseys behind me. They're my favorite team, so of course we're going to be using them. Not that there's too many other options for us to use. If it was Mississippi and Tennessee, well then, again, not many options. It would have been the Titans, but we'll be rocking the Vikings. As for our head coach, well, a little love for our offensive lineman out there, Joe Thomas, and this is the closest I could find to a player face that resembled him in the slightest, though not quite doing him justice. As for the settings of this franchise, well, it's the same as all of the states only challenge, where we sim 98%, watching a good bit. It is going to be on all pro, because that is what Madden is best designed to run without game-breaking mechanics being introduced. 8-minute quarters. As per usual, turning off dynamic momentum, just a little gimmicky, we don't like it. Injuries on, though pre-existing injuries will be turned off. Practice injuries still on. That way we have the availability of every possible player to at least start the franchise. Additionally, progressive fatigue is being turned off because too many times late on in a season, the best players are not playing for your opponent. We don't want that. We want everyone out there. And with that all set up, it's time to get on in and actually start our fantasy draft. But to make this series even more difficult than it already is, we limit who we get to draft from first. So once again, pulling up another device to help us figure out what we're doing, we have the spinny wheel with every FBS school, though all of these states involved do have lower level schools that we might have a couple players that we could choose from, but we are going to start from the big boys, the FBS. So let's spin the wheel and find out what team we have to draft all available players from first. And by a narrow margin, it is Northern Illinois, which might help us out a little bit. I don't think they have that many players in the league. And actually using my handy list of players, there are, in real life at this point, 5 Northern Illinois players in the NFL right now. However, 3 of those 5 came in the most recent draft, or signed thereafter. So really there are only 2 options for us, Jimmy Ward and Max Sharping. And of those 2, well, I think the decision is pretty clear on who our first selection is going to be. At strong safety, we'll be going with Jimmy Ward. He's 5'11", 195. However, he is 32 years old, so he will not be a part of this series if it goes for a long stretch. But for starting safeties, he's pretty solid, well-rounded. He is our first draft selection. As for our second, going to the offensive line, where we will be going after Max Sharping. Again, the last of the 2 available players from Northern Illinois for us to select, and then it opens up to every possible player. So Max Sharping, as long as I'm actually saying that correctly, a 66 overall, he's 27 years old, normal dev. Most likely, he's going to be a backup, though. Maybe we do something similar to the Marylavania State Only Challenge and we move him to play fullback. We'll find out, but he'll be our second selection. And of course, with us having One of the, I would say, top 2 tight end U's available in Iowa. Well, we have to get one of them. TJ Hawkinson is the top remaining tight end, a superstar 90 overall. He's 26. He will be here for the long haul. I don't think we miss out on this opportunity. We get our tight end 1. And with a lack of other options, we need to find ourselves a quarterback. Russell Wilson, highest overall of possible options. Though not the Russell Wilson of old, though he is on the older side, 34 years old, 75 overall. Those accuracies nowhere close to where they used to be, but for now, he's going to be QB1. And of course, can't exclude Jonathan Taylor. I'm actually surprised he's still around here. An 87 overall superstar running back. He was the thumbnail used in the vote for this group. So we will be, of course, drafting him, and that will round out our top 5 selections. Let me fill out this roster, and then we'll introduce you to every position group. And said roster is now built. We have one player in the 90 plus overalls, and then a handful of players who are 85 and up. Most of the, I would say, better players are going to be on the offensive side. Defense is looking a little weak, but going individually by position. Russell Wilson and Tommy DeVito at quarterback, obviously. Russell Wilson is going to be QB1. As for running back, Jonathan Taylor, pretty easy. Melvin Gordon, Evan Hull, and Tyler Goodson round out that group. Now, we did bring in a fullback, Alec Ingold, being a pretty solid fullback here for us to help lead the way for our running backs. Receiver, that is one of the weakest spots for the offensive side, though. Adam Thielen was available, and of course, I had to bring him in. Hooked on a Thielen, Alan Lazard, and Quintez Cephas will round out the top 3. We do have Kenny Golladay, Tyler Johnson, and Xavier Hutchinson to round out that group, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of Tyler Johnson and Xavier Hutchinson, get them developing because, well, Kenny Golladay is not really much of a future guy for us. At tight end, Hawkinson, already talked about him. Dan Arnold and Max Williams finished that group. Getting to the offensive line, it's a pretty good group. Tackles are on the older side. We do have one younger guy here in AJ Jackson who maybe will take over a starting spot. That's going to kind of depend on what Ted Karras, one of those, maybe neither. It's going to depend on how he does, but he is the higher overall. He will get the start. Now, the interior of this offensive line is looking really good for the future. We got Quinn Miners here at left guard. Moved him over from, I believe, right guard. Linderbaum starting center. 23 years old and one of the best in the league. Did skip out Max Sharping. We saw him drafted earlier. He's going to be one of the backups, probably second backup. Spencer Brown on the right side, he moves over from right tackle in 81, 25 years old, really good interior of the offensive line that should stick around for the entire series. Logan Bruce will be the backup. He's basically backup 3, as we saw earlier with AJ Jackson. He's the primary backup. Finishing the offensive line, Kevin Zeitler moves to right tackle. 33 and 30 years old on the tackles. We might need to find some younger guys as we move forward. Getting to the defensive side, this is where we're going to see a good drop in most of the overalls. And we're shaking around what we're doing with the defensive line, but Dean Lowry, Matt Henningsen, and Esezi Odomewo. Yeah, I probably butchered that one. My bad. Anytime I mispronounce a name, please do let me know down below. I'm not going to feel bad. I want you to correct me because I haven't looked all of these names up. At the right side, Chauncey Golston, and then Ernest Brown IV, getting one of those Northwestern guys mixed in here. We have a few of them throughout. DTs, we don't really have too many of those big boys that are quite ready to play. Shelby Harris will kind of move around the defensive line. We do have Keanu Benton, and hopefully he will be one of our big guys of the future. He's a rookie, 75 overall. Hopefully he produces. Backing up those two, we do have Kalen Saunders, a 70, and then one of those names again that I did not look up, Ayoma Uwazurike? Probably again butchering it. Again, let me know down below. You got Boye Mafe at left outside backer, and another name that I'm going to butcher, Adebayor. Not even going to try the first one. I'm trying to be nice with these, but I definitely don't know how to pronounce them. Middle linebacker, this is probably one of the strongest groups for our defense. TJ Edwards leads the group as the kind of mid-career guy. He's 4 years in. Yeah, Leo Chenal, we played with him, I feel like, before. He's been pretty solid. Joe Schobert and Jack Gibbons. Gibbons will be in the start, or at least the starting two when it comes to off-ball linebacker. So we're going to see pretty much all of these linebackers. As for outside, AJ Espinosa and Anthony Nelson kind of round out the edge group for us. Getting to the cornerback spot, Benjamin St. Juste. If you've been around since the Panthers franchise, we are pretty familiar with him. Hopefully he finishes his time here with us a little bit of a better way. But we are really light at corner and pretty inexperienced. We're going to have the rookie in Cameron Mitchell get a start on the outside. Michael Ojemudia, maybe pronouncing that one correctly. He'll be kind of the main backup from the corners, maybe play a little bit of some slot. Josh Jackson, he's just depth really at this point. Free safety, Tony Adams, second-year player, as well as rookie Riley Moss are going to be the primary two there. If for some reason we run out of corners, Tony Adams is the first to go to corner, and then Eric Murray will step in as a backup safety. Jimmy Ward, starting safety here for us, with Sidney Brown, again, another guy that we had in the Panthers franchise. He will step up as the backup for Jimmy Ward, maybe take over for him after a year, but for year one, he will be the starting slot corner. We also have Kayvon Merriweather, who's going to be a backup, and hopefully he develops. Kicker, Chase McLaughlin. Now, we did not have a punter available for us to use, so we drafted Ryan Santoso, a kicker, moving him to punter. We've had to move around a good amount of guys, and hopefully we have some step up. But I think it's time to see what this Midwest team can get done on the field. And it will be our offense out first. And honestly, this is our better side, so I kind of like this start. As Russell Wilson begins with a throw that gets picked. And this might be a pick six as he does bring him down inside the one. Patrick Surtain. Not what we were looking for to begin the Midwest State's only challenge. Russell Wilson throws it straight to the corner intended for Alan Lazard. Coming off the Marylavania State-only challenge, we were kind of used to that with the play of Kenny Pickett. We might have to resort back to a run-heavy offense as it's a run that gets the Bucks in the end zone. Montgomery puts them up 7-0 following this PAT, following the interception play one. US Bank Stadium nearly dead quiet. After that, well, can we have a better drive two? Russell Wilson starting with another throw as he checks down to the bottom, finding Alan Lazard this time. He gets a gain of 4. Now we are using the Los Angeles Chargers playbook. It's a multiple power offense. We have a mixture of offensive linemen, but for the most part, power run seems to be what we should do best. As Jonathan Taylor, nice moves, picks up the first down, getting us up to the 32. A pistol set to follow as we go back to Taylor. Lead block. He outruns both of the blocker and the linebacker, picking up 2 straight first downs. This is what the offense should be built off of. With that dominant interior offensive line we have, they can move around, they can pull. We'll get the receivers involved a little bit, but hopefully not all too much. Look a little bit more for our tight end in TJ Hawkinson. But as every new state-only challenge is, it's going to be a learning curve as we get used to this team, and who knows, maybe we'll make some trades as we move along season 1. Taylor picks up another first down, 4 rushes, 32 yards. And I think pretty much everyone outside of our left tackle is a pretty solid run blocker, so most of the line going to be open for us. As we go jet sweep, Thielen stuffed at the line. Not sure how many of those I want to be giving to the 33-year-old. Maybe Quintez Cephas would be a better receiver to hand the ball off to. Play action roll here for Wilson. Going downfield as he finds Thielen. That is how we should use him. Getting us down to the 22. And I think I speak for all Minnesota Vikings fans. It is nice to see Thielen back in the purple and gold as Russell tried to scramble. Clearly does not have the same mobility he used to. Rashawn Gary gets the sack, loss of 5. Though Wilson wants to still control this offense. It's an empty set here, 2nd and 15. They bring the blitz, we pick it up. Eventually they get back there. It's a late throw, finding number 89. That is Quintez Cephas. Honestly, not sure what number he wears real life. Don't really feel like that number fits him, as they don't bring the blitz, but it still gets back there. That time, Wilson scrambles. A late flag comes in, and it's real-life Packer Rashawn Gary who is called with the unnecessary roughness. Their late hit on Wilson will get a 1st and goal barely inside the 10 as Wilson once again rolls, and I think Jonathan Taylor had to tip that away from another pick. As we saw when we drafted Wilson, the accuracy numbers, they're nowhere close to where they used to be. All pretty much low 80 overalls as Wilson once again under pressure. Ball pops out. It is scooped up, and there is plenty of space between 97 and the nearest defender. This one will be a turnover directly into a touchdown. Miles Murphy. Scoop and score. That is 2 turnovers leading to points from Russell Wilson. You could say a pretty disappointing start as Melvin Gordon gets a carry to start our next drive. And then Jonathan Taylor. All right, so Taylor's good. Allen picks up a gain of 20, or I guess plucks out a gain of 20. Tyler Johnson gets 12. So far, really worried about our play with our quarterback. But we're back inside the 25 to begin the second quarter. At the 23, it's an empty set here for Wilson. 3 up top, 2 down below. Can we just not turn the ball over, find some points? Across the middle, it is Thielen who gets picked up, slammed down, and he'll get up, but he'll also have to head to the sideline. An injury going to his knee that actually sent him to the tunnel. Pretty sure he was our only receiver that was higher than a 75 overall, so that is a big hit for us. 2nd and 4. Wilson across the middle as he finds his target. That is going to be Allen, gain of about 3, maybe 4. Brings up 3rd and 1. It's 2 spread either side as Wilson looks to throw. Missing the target. It was also not open much at all. Honestly, would have been better if he just took it to the flat with Jonathan Taylor, but 4th and 1. Offense stays on out as we have a read option dialed up here. Wilson will scramble. Great block from Allen. Wilson dives, and it's our first touchdown of the Midwest State's only challenge. Russell Wilson, who put us down 2 scores, draws us back to 1. As we jump forward, Buccaneers offense finally getting a chance to drive here, and they've done so inside the red zone now. Kyler Murray looking a little antsy in the pocket, and it's a combination sack from 3 different players. Benton got there first, only credited with half the sack. Mafe, another one, 55, and I'm not sure who the other one was, 99. Maybe Shelby Harris, if I'm not mistaken, though, back again, as it's A.J. Epinesa. That time, solo sack. Makes it 3rd and 19. It's trips up top, 1 down below for Kyler, as it will just be a rush of 4. He finds the seam, and he finds the first down. Moore got clobbered at the point of the catch, but he held on. Did his job. 1st and goal now at the 7. As it's Warren with the handoff, pushing down to the 2. He did not want to be denied. We will eventually force the 2nd and goal. This defense not the strongest group, as once again it's a roll into Benton. 1.5 sacks for him, this one solo. And originally it didn't even have him in the starting lineup for rush DT. We put him out there, and I'm very much liking it. Kyler Murray misses the throw. We will force a field goal here. About 2 minutes left in the half. Now, if you are new to this series or type of series, as I mentioned earlier, it is 98% sim, as we've done so far outside of the 4th down we went with earlier. That's really just the only time we're going to see ourselves step out here, is when it's certain down situations where we need to tell the team to go for it, or clock management situations, as we're inside the 2-minute warning here. Madden notoriously bad at managing clock. As we go for TJ Hawkinson, believe that's his first catch, at least that we've seen. Definitely want to make sure that he maintains being a big part of this passing game, as that is just off the mark for Tyler Johnson. Obviously, no update yet on Adam Thielen. Hopefully it is good news. Should find out a little bit more before half. A huge block for Quinn Miners. Just absolutely destroyed the man. We've already talked a good little bit here about the former Panthers franchise, reminded me of Aquanu getting out there and just laying out dudes. As we look for our guy, a little back shoulder fade for Johnson, it's off the mark again. Though honestly, that might be a little bit of bad coaching decisions on our part. Russell Wilson does not have those accuracies. We should not be forcing the ball downfield. Look for some underneath play as it's a good cutback from Cephas out of stamina. Caught down at the 5. We'll call our second timeout. Just under 50 seconds left in the half. But I do think that is a pretty good indication of why we should stick to the short passing here with Russell Wilson and make sure that we feed the rock to Taylor, pushing down to the 2. Go a little bit of some hurry up off of that. Again, still have the 1 timeout. Hard count Wilson, no 1 jumps. Looks for a pass, he's got an open receiver, and it will be Cephas finishing the job off. We draw it back to a field goal game here. Considering that we went down 14-0 early, it's a good job to round out this half. Now as we jump forward here in a pretty big way, almost to the end of the third quarter, as neither team has been able to do much to start the half, it is the Buccaneers still up by 3, and it's Warren met in the backfield. Big stop there from one of our linebackers, 53, Edwards. Again, it's our best group here on defense. Up top, and it gets picked off. Benjamin St-Juste takes over. Looking for some space on the outside. Kyler rushes over to get the stop. That is the Benjamin St-Juste this channel knows and loves. That big frame of his pulled in a lot of picks with the Panthers franchise. Hopefully we see more of that here. Wilson with a chance to take a lead as he scrambles, diving down 2 yards short of the first down. Leaves 2nd and 2 with enough time to maybe snap the ball for 1 more play, though we do not need to. And as that clock approaches 0, we do snap it with 1 second left. It's Taylor looking for the edge. He's gonna get the first down and will send us to the 4th quarter. Now we did not do much in that third, so it's the 4th where we've got to come up big. Only real play we made was that pick. Taylor looking for the outside. They're gonna say the ball popped out, but he looked down prior to that fumble. Hopefully we see a review come in here. And indeed we would. They would actually expedite it very clear from the first review. So offense continues. Let's just not put the ball on the ground here. Wilson throws, first down, Allen Lazard. Now obviously we can see so far Adam Thielen is still not out there. It is a sprain to his knee. We'll have to see how long that's going to sideline him, and if we have to make any moves early on here in the franchise to add a little help to our receiving core. Other options would be let some of these young guys cook, or at least try to, and see if they can develop, lean a little bit more on the running game. All going to depend on if Wilson will let us do that. As he rolls around, he finds his tight end. I believe that is Max Williams, making it 3rd and 1. Now we are starting Max Williams over Dan Arnold because he just has much better run blocking, and we're trying to have this be a little bit more run focused as Wilson misses wildly. 4th and 1, a chance to tie. Joe Thomas is remaining aggressive here in his coaching debut, looking for a first down here. It's the weak eye, and Taylor takes a big hit, but he picks up the first down. Rashad Gary not able to bring him down in time. So the offense hurries back up to the line then as everyone floods one side. Wilson's going to run the opposite way as he's just looking for a little bit of something. A slight late hit there. No flag comes in. Wilson was definitely out of bounds by the time that shove happened, but at least it wasn't too aggressive. 2nd and 3, looking to pass again here, Wilson. Rolling, here comes the rush, he gets rid of it, and if it came off a foot, it would be a field goal. But unfortunately, he threw it. So it's just an incomplete pass. 3rd and 3, 2 up top, 1 down below. Wilson looking to throw again. As he rolls, he'll tuck, he will run in for his 2nd touchdown rushing of the game. This one puts us ahead in the 4th. When we said we wanted to focus on rushing, we weren't expecting it would be with our, 34-year-old quarterback, but hey, if it works, it works. Kyler Murray, he goes deep downfield, and it is not even swatted away. Adams tried to sky up for it, too tall for even him to get to. Couldn't quite say that about Kyler Murray. 2nd and 10 at the 25, 3 up top as they will continue trying to air out this ball. We're under 5 minutes left, and the height coming in as a disadvantage there for Kyler. He beams his offensive lineman in the back of the head. Will be 3rd and 10, bunched down to the bottom, 1 up top. Murray, he's got a little bit of time as he rolls. He's gonna find the edge, bad contained from Mafe. If he got out there a little bit quicker, or even the corner coming off of his coverage, maybe we get that stop. Instead, it's 1st and 10 as we approach 4 minutes here. Murray just takes a snap, stays in the same spot. He steps up. Benton will catch the ankle, bringing him down, gain of 2. I will say Benton having a really strong start here. Hopefully he continues that play throughout. 2nd and 8, hard count. As they go with an RPO, they swing it out. A good stop on the edge from the rookie in Mitchell. Not a very high overall awareness and play rec, not quite there yet, but he looked very aware on that one. Brings up a 3rd and 7. Murray stepping up again, and Gibbons had no idea that Kyler decided to scramble. Adams comes in to get the stop, but you need a little bit more there from the linebackers. Keep your head up. And on top of it, he wasn't even covering anyone. He was just standing there. Murray throws this time and tipped away. 2 plays for Mitchell on this drive, brings up 2nd and 10. It is a touchdown needed here for the Buccaneers as they are down 4. Swing up top, tipped away, Sidney Brown. Another one of those rookies, another one of those Panthers players. 3rd and 10. Bunch up top, 1 down below. Murray, pretty clean pocket, but rolls to the outside where there is Benton. 2.5 sacks for him in debut. Kyler's gonna hate looking at the tablet after that because he had plenty of time and space in the middle. Will send us to the 2-minute warning where it is 4th and long and potentially 4th and game here for the Buccaneers as they're back beyond the 50-yard line. Murray, he's gonna step up, try to buy some time. He loads up deep downfield, double coverage goes over everyone's head. It's a turnover on downs. Now we just need Jonathan Taylor on the offense to run some clock. And to help try to make sure that we do just that, we're going to jump out here with the offense. I do not want the OC calling passes when we don't need it. As Jonathan Taylor bursts through, runs through the corner in Surtain. And it is 1 timeout remaining for the Buccaneers. Potentially a little revenge for that interception, play 1 of this game, as Taylor, he bursts to the outside, looks for a little stiff arm, which he gets, trying to spin off, but he won't. But the final timeout called, we will kneel from here. It's a gutsy win here for us in week 1. We put ourselves down bad early on, but we fought through, and honestly, I've got to give a round of applause to the defense. Only gave up 17 points, 14 of which really came from the offense. Massive, massive plays from some young guys in this one. I think that's a pretty good spot to leave today's episode. We'll go over the stats real quick. Russell Wilson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Of course, he got some things done on the ground we'll talk about. He was sacked twice, completed 60% of his passes. I think we really have to kind of think the fact that Kyler Murray also only completed 44%. Defense got some good pass breakups mixed in there. Jonathan Taylor, it was a quiet near 100-yard game for him. No touchdowns, but Russell Wilson took those rushing opportunities with the 2 rushing touchdowns. So it was 3 touchdowns, 2 turnovers for Russell Wilson. Of course, those 2 turnovers immediately resulting in points for the other team. Quintez Cephas led us in receiving yards. A little bit of a surprise there. 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Lazard, I think he could be a solid 2 to 3 kind of guy. Probably more of a 3, and we would hope to get TJ Hawkinson going a lot more, as he only had 1 catch, 19 yards. So need to get him going, and we'll talk about Adam Thielen shortly. Offensive line, they did pretty well. Ted Karras did give up a sack, but again, the tackles, we know that they're going to be a little bit more of the problem. The interior played extremely well. Defensively, we'll look at just our own stats here. Benton led us in tackles, a phenomenal debut for him as a rookie. 3 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, absolutely phenomenal. Boye Mafe did get 2 TFLs and half a sack. Edwards got back there at Panessa, Chanel, and Sidney Brown, pretty good game. As for the sacks, Epinesa did have one, and Kalen Saunders was big number 99. He did have half as well. Interception, of course, Benjamin St. Just. Didn't get to really see much of Chase McLaughlin. He only had 3 PAT attempts, and well, he hit all 3. And in continuation of good news, Adam Thielen's injury is not going to linger into the start of next episode. It was, I believe, an ACL or MCL sprain. It appears that he is shaking it off, maybe wrapping up that knee a little extra, but he will be good to go. As for the plan next episode, well, we have quite a while until we get into our first divisional game in week 6 versus the Bears. Before then, we have the Chiefs, Panthers, Chargers, and Eagles. So we'll probably jump through these games pretty quickly. I do want to get in at least one divisional game next episode. Then we have a break with the 49ers, and then our first game against the Packers. So it'll be probably a good chunk of the season coming through in the next episode as we try to get through each season in 2 to 3 episodes and then get into the off season or hopefully the postseason if we do well, as I'm very happy with how the team performed outside of the 2 turnovers today. If you were too, then let us know by sticking around to follow what this team can do. The Midwest States Only Challenge every single Tuesday and Thursday. So go ahead and hit that sub button either down below or the bell icon on the bottom right, and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified when these videos go live. We will have one more EA Sports College Football 25 video this week, being tomorrow. And then we're going to get back to our superstar mode with Bronson Moreau next week, and probably sprinkle in some college football videos here and there depending on what news we get from them, as more and more information coming this week. So maybe one more video next week. Play that one by ear, but we will see you guys next time as the Midwest States Only Challenge continues.